What do you think? Glasses on or glasses off? Or how about glasses halfway down the nose so it looks like a
Gotta get that
librarian or
magic
something?
on.
I'll go get my sunglasses. We can inject some cool into this.
You really need sunglasses doing a podcast at 2 in the morning.
I could just wear my
What
glasses
was-
upside down.
There was a game that was actually so bright recently that I had to put my sunglasses on because, because it hurt my eyes. So I just grabbed them and I was just like,
Oh, you're thinking
I
of Dark Souls.
you know what? That actually, oh man, that would be great. Drunk Dark Souls.
Hmm.
Every time we die, we drink. Every
Well-
time
well known
we
for being the
win, we
brightest
put
game,
on
right?
another cheap pair of sunglasses.
Go put
Oh,
on a
no.
tie too.
Like you just keep layering more on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's like some kind of weird back and forth where like if we die we could take some sunglasses off, but
Mhm.
we have to drink, so it kind of balances. So in the end we're drunk and blind as shit.
That's a winning combination.
I'm
for
terrified of the idea
a
of a
winning
drinking
group of
game
people there.
multiplayer thing.
I think whatever game it was, it had
Do
like
that
really
for New
flashy
Year's.
special effects. And it like hurt to see, but I can't remember for the life of me what it was. It was probably like one of those indie impressions videos that like
Mm,
I've since forgotten.
probably. You do
All right,
like
are we ready to
send me
start?
those. Yeah, sure.
I thought we already started.
Wander, do us a sweet
We're
intro.
like halfway between starting and not starting. Let's just go ahead and
Yeah.
lay down.
Podcast episode 2. This podcast still has no name. Nobody suggested
it'll never have
anything
a
except
name.
for bird lore, so this might get called bird lore.
At
That'd
You'll
be
have to
great.
be on it
least
more
I'm
for
present
that.
for this one.
You'll have to be on a lot more for that.
All right, so Keith, cut out all of Bird's audio track.
Oh, absolutely.
for this.
I don't even know a bird, do you? He's gone forever, that's it.
Yeah, he's
And
dead.
his
Nobody
sweet
can truly
opera
know the
voice.
bird. Nobody can know the bird.
Bird, are
I
you an
haven't
opera
talked
singer?
to
Do you
him.
stand on on pen and tape?
I commented on my fellow actor's
Oh.
brother.
There's a little bit of.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
God we
it's
have your
okay.
local recording because that was a robot I was just talking to.
It was just like a.
I was like,
said
are
I'd
you an
call my
opera
fellow
singer?
actor's
I
brother.
am robot.
Beep boop.
Beep, boop.
Yes, I am human.
Impressive robot voice.
Oh
User
man.
entered your
That
channel.
reminds me.
Hey!
Hey!
Knuckles on Knuckles.
Yeah.
We
He's
hadn't
a
really
real life
started.
person.
Comedy
Making
series.
clackle
He's turned into Clackle, son of Clackle. He's turned into a typewriter. Oh, man.
For people not aware of what's going on in TeamSpeak, we've been waiting for Andrew for like 30 minutes now.
And then all we had to do was introduce the podcast for him to show up.
And then he
Then he's
shows up.
immediately
this,
here.
This happened when we were playing Ark too. We just sketched his way into the middle of a collab session with.
Do we want to discuss
We
that?
found
Do
him
we
in a
want to
lake
have him
and had
explain
no
that
idea he was
situation?
there.
That
Yeah.
was fucking scary.
Once he has his mic set up or whatever is going on, we'll have to
We
hear
did-
his input
the
on
other-
that topic.
The other podcast I had going on was called the Vox Storycast. We can just steal that name. It means the voice of the bull, aka the bullshit cast is what we were going for. But it ended up being really pretentious, so I don't think anyone caught on to it.
The shittiest of bullcasts.
Somebody just entered
But then I
my
have to-
chat.
Then I have to associate
Threatening
myself with
to-
those people, though. And we don't need
Somebody
those
just-
people here.
Somebody just entered my chat threatening to spoil Star Wars. I was like,
Why?
I'm,
Well, just
I'm
ban-
just gonna ban.
Yeah.
I just said I'm gonna ban you. And he's like, I'll ban your mom, and I'm like,
Yeah, don't even
Classic
threaten to ban
retort.
him. Just ban him immediately for saying that. Just fuck it.
I mean,
And now I will continue to spoil Star Wars.
I'm gonna be honest.
please
Very
don't.
few Star Wars spoilers.
Yeah,
I've seen like one.
I spoiled it myself by accident because I was talking about one of the books with somebody,
Oh.
and they're like, "Oh, that happened in the movie," and I was like,
Whoops.
Whoops. Well, I mean,
After having seen it, I
I
don't
mean,
think
in that
there's
case,
that
I
many
technically already
scenes that
knew
are
it happened,
spoilable.
so whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if it gets spoiled, I'm going to be going there for the lightsabers, the space battles, and the pretty sights.
And Star Wars
There's
is a
gonna be
really good
lightsabers in
movie,
it?
by the way.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Like, there's a core difference between the prequels and the original trilogy, which is that, and I got this by just watching the original trilogy recently to get an idea of what that was like. When you watch the original movies, they just are on a planet, and then shit goes wrong, and they meet up with people kind of on accident, and they're just going from scene to scene, and everything's a mess, and they're all yelling at each other, and then eventually the movie ends, and like it just flows from scene to scene, and like
Yeah.
That's exactly how Star Trek 2009 felt. Like, oh, we're going into command. All right, we're launching into this mission. Oh, fuck, this is down. Okay, now you're the commanding officer. Oh, shit, what happened to Pike? And, like, then the movie ends eventually. Like, okay, what happened? Then you have to look back and try to recount what happened in the movie. And, like, that's the new Star Wars movie goes back to that, where the prequels were, we're going to slowly walk down this hallway and talk about the prophecy that would maintain the balance of the Force. I'm Mace Windu, the most boring Samuel L. Jackson character in the history of video game movies.
There were no like slow expositionary points in any of the original series, were there?
Not really.
Not really.
Every movie has one scene, not counting Yoda scenes, maybe, but that's not really boring.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's the Yoda stuff,
but basically,
it's awful.
Basically, every Star Wars movie that isn't a prequel only stops to have people talk about the state of things if they're about to make a plan to destroy Death Star.
Or if somebody's injured or recovering or, indisposed for some reason.
Okay, when we're thinking about expositional stuff from the original trilogy,
from my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
Just remember the tree trunk scene with Darth Vader, and then you'll be like, yeah, those movies did not really handle that stuff particularly well.
They also mostly didn't.
You don't even remember it? Okay.
Are you talking about the Vision Quest?
Yeah, where he's like a tree. It gets all slow motion-y, and then he sees Darth Vader.
Oh yeah,
and
it does low frame rate.
I think that was Lucas being like, I more or less own Industrial Light and Magic.
Let's make the worst special effects ever. Is that what he was going for?
Absolutely.
Because it was the entire special effect of that scene was he dropped the frame rate by half, and it looked awful.
I hated it when Luke's face showed up in the helmet because it just looked like a doll, like a baby doll's face, and I was just like,
70s prosthetics.
Oh
yeah. They should have done something weird, like start singing.
They could have just actually filmed his head in that thing.
I decided to listen to Anamanaguchi during this. That was a bad move.
There's actually a movie you can watch for free on YouTube, and probably not legally, but it's been there for a long time, called Warriors of Virtue, which is like it's like kangaroos in live action, Captain Planet style. That movie's noteworthy for having every single fight scene be exactly that frame rate you're talking about.
Oh God!
Literally every fight scene is like choppy, low frame rates to be clearly as some sort of attempt at like a stylized thing for some reason.
Delightful.
Hey, there's Blackle.
Whoa. What's up, guys?
He's here.
Also quiet.
He's alive.
Am I quiet?
I need to crank your volume.
Yeah,
don't you change.
We manually adjust you.
Okay,
it's so much easier this way.
Yeah.
So, before we get in too far into shitty movies,
Let's
I'd actually like to bring up...
actually.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so the loudest person is probably Birdcatcher.
Probably.
Followed by probably me, maybe Keith.
So I'm Keith, and he's Wander.
Yes. And then the last one's Andrew.
Oh, yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Andrew from the Sad Games, that channel I used to do with him.
Whoa,
and also all
guy.
4 of us / 3 of us were on various episodes of Sadcast, our previous podcast.
We were, fact.
Yes. We talked about Five Nights at Freddy's and people surviving the Chuck E. Cheese murder. And Dodger a lot.
I think that was basically the last time.
We can't do that right now, all right?
Yeah.
I'm recovering.
No.
Please let me recover in peace.
I am digging. I am driving in deep.
She got engaged.
Look,
how's that feel?
Guys,
how's that feel, Andrew?
Do you have to jab at me like that?
How do you feel about your chances?
We're not jabbing. We are twisting the knife.
Why do you think? Why do you think you're here?
Look, it hurt my feelings, but I was also happy for her. It was really tough. It was a struggle internally.
Because if you really love someone, you have to let them go.
If you want to play shipper with L. Peters, what if she got engaged to Danny Sexbang? Weirdest turn.
I don't know. I would
out of nowhere. Yeah. No, even better. Jesse Cox. Danny Sexbag.
Both
those two can't
I would love to see that as a collaboration.
It's not a marriage isn't a collaboration.
No. Just like thinking about that now, I'd love to see a video where those two work together.
That'd be great.
I just get a kick out of the idea of Total Biscuit and Aaron Hansen being both best men.
Oh man.
Across from each other.
No way. That
Oh,
would be really awesome.
so speaking of current events, I've
Uh-huh.
only heard a little bit on the grapevine from this, but apparently Polaris has been forcing a lot of those people.
To get married.
No.
Conspiracy.
No, it's been forcing them into affiliate status as opposed to managed status within the network, which means
Wow.
like, yeah, no copyright handling and stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's probably just because it got too hard for them to do it, so they're just like, screw it.
What I have no idea. I think it's just because the bigger YouTubers are, the more of a risk they are, but the more of a cash cow they are. So if Polaris doesn't have to do any work and still gets the money, it's better for them.
That's basically it, yeah.
So I saw a conversation between Jesse Cox and Cryotic on Twitter, and they were talking about having to release videos manually every day and make sure they were monetized. No
Wow.
automatic releases and no automatic monetization.
It just
And-
goes to show that networks are about as useless as you imagine they are.
Yeah, I mean, I love mine because I haven't heard from them since March, and that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
And that
a
was-
pretty good deal right there.
Yeah, that was me asking if they could do something about the guy that was impersonating me and asking devs for games, and they said, sorry, Google doesn't listen to us. And I was just like, well, at least you're honest. Thank
Well, I
you.
thought you can't you turn on auto monetization in like upload settings?
Doesn't matter, man. Networks
Yeah.
have greater control over that than you do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
If you're part of a
awful.
network, then that like feature doesn't work the same way you would expect it would.
That's why if you're a YouTuber, make sure you join the right one.
Hmm.
Yep. Or just never monetize.
Yeah.
I am getting flooded with names I've never seen before in chat.
Oh, yeah. I got like Geek Fact podcast, but that's a little bit generic. I don't know.
They're
That
just,
doesn't matter.
they're
Just
just randomly
join the
popping.
chat, and you're gonna insult
Yes,
their
sir.
name.
Well,
Seriously.
no,
They're definitely just randomly popping in to say, could you call me a fag and you a ginger? So Twitch is staying
yeah.
classy
Yeah, I
today.
saw that. I don't think I'm a ginger.
I don't know.
I mean,
I guess
I'm
they're just
very-
bored. They're just bored. All right.
My hair
It
is
is 2
very
a.m.
reflective, so it picks up some of the like browns and oranges. Wow.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want
well.
to say the person I banned for the Star Wars spoilers
It's
is coming
probably
in to
them.
insult me. Yeah.
Oh,
That's usually
Yeah.
how it
you're
goes.
attracting unwanted attention, Wonder.
I mean, worst comes to
It
worst,
could-
I shut down the stream. It's not like I need to stream this.
Could be
It's
worse.
ve-
It could be the return of Jiggy.
God, I remember that.
God, Jiggy was the worst.
That was a pain in the ass.
So, okay, we were going to talk about One Punch Man.
Yes, we
Shall
were.
we-
Yes.
Shall we talk
Are
about
we
One
gonna do that
Punch
now?
Man? Let's do
Yeah.
One Punch Man.
Might as well
I'm
get that
excited.
out of the way first.
hmm
So, you guys have all seen the anime at least, right?
Yes.
How much of the manga have you guys read?
All of it.
None.
Okay. And Keith is partial. And
I've read
Andrew, have you
zero
the-
anything but watched everything so far.
Have you, including the prequel OVA?
Oh no, I've only watched this season. And,
Oh,
and
you should-
I read
Yeah.
the Vegeta crossover.
I do
What?
not remember that.
Am I the only one that read
I
that?
think that was fan made.
I don't know.
That sounds fan
I
made.
don't know. It was on Imgur.
It's like saying, like, oh, I
That's
really
fan
enjoyed
made.
the Undertale crossover with.
It's not
with One
easy to
Punch
tell
Man.
if something's official or not anymore. If it just has
Um,
proper art.
Yeah, I guess that's true. No, there's the OVA and there's also another special that just came out yesterday.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
guess I,
didn't
have
see
some
that one
stuff
yet.
to watch then.
Yeah,
Come
they've
on.
been doing like side episodes. So the OVA was about how he got his costume
Yeah.
and more or less like his kind of first hero fight.
All right, I'm
Against
bored.
the,
I'm
the-
bored with
the
all these
nipple
new
trap
people.
man?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Oh.
not that one.
Well, then who else did he fight?
He fought a guy who turns into a goldfish.
Oh, I did
Yeah.
not know that. I just remember the nipple.
Is
bitch
that,
man.
that was his first fight before he became a hero. That was like him turning into
Yeah.
a hero.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Before he started his training. This is post training.
Did you guys? I don't know if you guys noticed it. For those of you who watched it, did you notice that when Genos is talking about the Hero Association on the pamphlet, the
Yeah.
founder is
Yep.
the kid that he saved?
yeah, well, the
No
founder
way, really?
is the dad of the kid.
Yeah.
Or the grandfather of the kid.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why he got S rank right away and everyone knew who he was.
No.
No.
Remember how Saitama, before he became a hero, that crab guy in
Yeah.
the whitey tighties was threatening the kid with the ballsack chin?
Yeah, yeah.
That kid's grandfather formed the Heroes Association and is the
Oh,
major like financial backer. Yeah.
And,
Dude,
and
I thought-
yeah,
Saitama is the mysterious hero that inspired the Heroes Association to come into
Oh,
existence.
wow.
He led the
I thought you
entire
said
thing being created in
Genos
the
was
first
the
place,
guy.
basically.
No,
Wow.
no.
I thought you said
Genos was like half dead at that point.
Yeah,
'Cause-
thanks,
Okay.
thanks
Yeah,
for
he was being
revising
turned into
Ballchin
cyborg.
to my memory again. I did not need that back.
I honestly, I thought that was a really, I thought that was a really clever thing. It's way more obvious in the manga. The
Yeah,
anime,
go
it's
figure.
like a tiny little picture for like maybe 10 seconds. Manga, it's like a full panel.
Yeah,
Be
it's a
fair,
full panel.
If you're really paying attention to the anime, they do incorporate a lot of the manga stuff. I've gone on the subreddit and
Yes.
people have pointed out, like, oh, this tiny little detail in the manga made it into
Yeah.
Did we just
Oh,
lose
there it
him?
goes. Yeah.
Oh no.
That'll happen a little bit. It's okay. It'll be in the local recording. Have fun editing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it'll be just amazing. Well, he's recording the whole thing, so it'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be great on my
We'll
end.
be fine. Everything's
But
fine. Don't worry
the
about
audio
it.
on my end. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm actually hoping they
Then
keep
we'll interrupt you.
supplementing with details as well, because the original webcomic is pretty light on details. The story moves really fast. The
Yeah.
manga takes a lot more time, but you know it's visually stunning and there's a lot more plot points.
Hmm.
The anime, for example, there's the Sweet Mask, right? The like guy with the blue hair that's number 1 A class.
The crazy guy who like went just like yeah.
Yeah. So he
Oh, that dude.
yeah, so
The Shonen guy.
yeah.
Pretty much.
So he doesn't exist beyond like one or two like panels or scenes
Hmm.
in the entire manga, and I don't think he really exists as a character
Mhm.
in the
He exists
webcomic.
in the webcomic. Because he was like a crucial part of the current arc that's going on now in it.
Okay, yeah, I haven't followed the webcomic at all.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah, I'd like to, but the art bothers me to the point where I can't anymore.
Oh yeah,
That's kinda why I enjoy
it's
it.
unwatchable.
Yeah.
It's
You
a
can't deal
fun
with
art
it.
style
Mhm.
to look at.
Yeah.
to-
I respect him for managing this level of success with that level of quality.
Yeah, no kidding. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he has 2 animes now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
One of them
he's
is,
way
like,
better than I am.
The only competition that One Punch Man had, from what I could tell, was Iron Blooded Orphans, which is a Gundam show of all things.
Mhm.
yeah. It like they tactfully put out One Punch Man during like the best time of the year when there's nothing
Yeah.
good on.
Go
Yeah.
figure.
So
Mhm.
yeah. So then it's like it's also just so well done because it's done by like Madhouse and they just have
Mhm.
such
They
a
brought
passion.
on a lot of
everyone.
freelancers too, which
They
is
brought
great.
on
Yeah.
every producer that they could think of.
So
Yeah.
I
So
can,
do we
I
think
can
that
confirm that
there's-
the Vegeta thing is definitely not real, but it
Of course
looks
not.
so fucking real.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
go
that.
figure.
It's fantastic art. I'll just link that as a reference. But yeah, that's dead
So-
on like how to draw Dragon Ball Z and One Punch Man, more or less.
Yep.
Fly by, sir. So season 2. Do we think it's likely? I personally
so-
don't.
Really?
Actually, both
Yeah.
1 and Murata. Murata is the
He's the
mangaka.
manga guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Both have said they are trying their absolute hardest to
Yeah, but that's
get
no
season 2 to
guarantee.
happen.
That's just trying. Like
It-
doesn't mean
so-
much.
Honestly, I think if season 2 happens, it's going to happen. Here, I'm gonna see if I can turn on display capture. Oh, I see.
I'm
So we
honestly
can
pretty
show
okay
the-
with not
there
getting
we
a
go.
season 2.
Oh fuck! Wait, that's a dog with boobs. Maybe I shouldn't do
It would.
that.
It'd be
What
kind
are you
of.
doing?
He's looking
there's
at
a-
dogs with boobs.
There's a dog
No,
with
no, no,
boobs
as
in
he
the
calls them.
sidebar. That's just a thing that's happening. There's 2 little boob fake ball things, and they just put it on top of it, on like a chihuahua.
I gotta put my
just
glasses on
happened.
and see this.
Yeah.
But the
Um,
I'm kind of feeling fairly done with One Punch Man after 1 season, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's because the finale.
It was good.
The finale was good. I actually don't think it was great in terms of the spirit of One Punch Man.
Well, I think
Um,
half the season wasn't in the spirit of One Punch Man.
Yeah,
They-
sort of.
Like, here's a bunch of comedy sketches and this funny hero villain, like hero gimmick, and then they have the fun little storyline of this guy dedicated his entire work and kind of became immortal and stuff to make a super biological weapon thing, and then he punches it to death in one hit, and I was like, I think I'm in the wrong line of work. Like, that's a fun gag. But then by the end
Yeah.
of the season, it's like, here's a 2-parter of fighting this thing. Here's a 3-parter of fighting this
So-
guy, and because he one punches people, it just means let's not have him in the show for as long as possible. While like
actually-
50 characters we make up, just make this a actual regular manga, regular like the show
Yeah.
literally becomes the
Yeah.
thing it's parodying.
I actually
Yeah, and
really
that's-
liked the fish, the King of the Sea arc, because it did a really good job of like highlighting the other heroes. And
Oh,
yeah,
everyone
you're right,
loves
that
Moomin
this-
Rider.
Yeah,
Like I don't think I liked anything about the spaceship 3-episode
no,
arc,
even,
except
even
for
in the
the one
manga,
gag
it
with the
was kind of an
hallways.
awkward one.
Like there was
that's
just one.
interesting.
There was one really good joke where he's like, "Oh, you'll leave if I tell you where to go." It's like, "Oh yeah, just go right." Like you said right, huh? And then he just like, starts laughing and going off the other way. I'm like, "Yay, they did a joke again." The
Yeah, I
show
would
did a
totally
thing.
agree that I felt like that arc was
So-
a little bit punchy,
After-
for lack of a better word.
I don't care about any of Class S at all.
hmm
Yeah,
I think they're old, boring characters. They
They're
have
all
very
no
narcissistic.
personality. They showed up for
get
2
more
seconds all at
interesting.
once.
The
Mhm.
manga is currently on an arc with Metal Bat,
Yeah.
Mm.
and they did him really well.
His like, for those of you who don't know, it's not too much of a spoiler, but his power is literally Teen Spirit.
Oh,
Like,
that's kind of
Well,
cute.
fighting spirit, not Teen
yeah.
Spirit. but-
Well,
Hmm.
you know what I mean. It's just
I thought
like
you said
yeah.
the more,
Teen
the more he
Spirit.
takes damage, the stronger he becomes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought
So
you were talking about
he's
Nirvana.
kind of your he's your generic
Yes,
like
see my
shonen.
final form.
yeah, kind
Yeah.
of.
hmm
But so like all of his bones are broken, and then he like keeps coming and swinging and stuff.
Hmm.
But it's done in a very like nice manner, and it's not like too long. And just as a character, he's fun to watch because
His
uh,
his
What
his
about-
personality is just great.
if he was the main character, I would hate it.
Hmm.
But for like
Yeah.
a 3-chapter
Yeah.
bit, yeah, it's cool.
I think
Well, what do we-
for
what do we
someone
think
who's just
about of our-
watching.
Yeah.
For someone who's just watching the anime and nothing else, it's really tough to accept a show having 12 episodes, and for the first 6 or so episodes having like 5 characters, and then for the second set of 6 episodes having like 30 characters.
Yeah. hmm
And they'll
Yeah.
have 3 lines, and that's it.
It builds you up a lot better in the manga, just because
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that they had to cut out due to time constraints, and a lot of it involved with like introducing S-class heroes and other heroes in like a
Yeah.
more like smoother manner.
I would definitely have
Yeah,
appreciated
it's
that.
really hard to fit an anime, especially like in a good way, into 12
Yeah.
episodes.
I got the
the
Hobbit
pacing-
feeling from it.
the pacing in One Punch Man is like
Yeah.
extraordinarily
Hmm.
fast.
They also, they have this obligation to put in as much material to make the fans happy, but then also they have to like do its service as an anime. So like,
Yeah,
people want to put in like all the stuff that you remember from the manga, like they want the hero association and stuff like that, and they want that in so that fans of the series can be like, I already know about this. People like Keith and myself might be a little bit more put off of it than usual because we're not nearly as familiar with like the webcomic or the manga.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Like I just
Yeah.
kind of spit it out, but actually, like I think that was actually a really valid thing to say, was to just jump straight out into like saying that it was like the Hobbit, because you watch the Hobbit trilogy, and if you just jump into those
Mhm.
with no context, you're like, why is like 50 random characters showing up that never
Yes.
matter again, that just
Yes.
are there
Mhm.
for a second? Hey, that's a brown wizard with a bunny sled. Bye
You know,
forever. And like that's
that
just what
is
happens.
actually-
That's the
That
whole
is
trilogy.
actually a perfect example because yeah,
it really is. Mhm.
hopping into those movies would be meaningless. But I'm still glad that they tried to keep it fairly true to the manga and webcomic and stuff. Because I
Yeah.
read all of the Soul Eater manga and then I
Mm.
watched the anime.
Oh
They
my
end
god,
so wildly
Ugh.
differently.
they do.
And it's actually it's very similar to Full Metal Alchemist,
Yep.
where the original anime just goes on a
Right.
wild tangent because
Right.
the manga wasn't done.
It's disappointing because the end of Soul Eater is actually pretty okay.
Yeah,
Like,
it was really good.
I really like where it go. I really like where it goes, and where in the anime, I don't know, it did kind of gimmicky out and just be like, well, the Kishin just is all that we have up until this point, so let's just deal with it, I guess, and
Yeah,
then call it the end of the series.
They effectively beat up the last villain in like 3 episodes. It was
Yeah,
weird.
we're like there's so much cool stuff that happened between that point in the manga where it's like, wow, this is like things get more impressive and then the fight is even more impressive and then it's like, okay, well, comparatively it's just so a big letdown in the anime.
I think that's the first manga slash anime or whatever that does like a battle on the moon in a way
Yes.
that actually felt good. Because usually when you're on the moon, it's stupid. It's just like, here's a moon base. But no, this is like the moon is a terror creature that you
Interesting.
Yeah,
do
'cause
not
the
want to
moon-
be on. Yeah.
Yeah, because the moon has like a smiley face and that like literally is the moon. So when you're on the moon, it has the smiley face.
And you go in the like mouth and stuff, and it's just like,
Yeah.
ugh.
So
Yeah.
usually
So
whenever
talking-
a series makes the jump into space, no matter
It gets
what it
bad.
is, it gets bad real fast.
So does
Yeah,
that
One-
mean, does
One
that mean that
Punch
we already
Man
jumped the
fixed that.
shark in One Punch Man?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Because we already went
to
to
be
space.
fair, the way it was handled in One Punch Man was very
I thought that was
interesting.
great. I
So-
liked it when he held his breath. It's just like, oh
Yeah.
wait, I should not breathe out here for a little while.
So
I thought
what
that
I
was
liked
classy.
about it was he picks up the rock and chucks it to like get a sense of gravity, and then he like is able to temper his force based on like that sort of like calculation.
I thought he
And
was
like,
just amusing
Still
himself, to
blew
be
up the
honest.
moon.
I thought so too, but then I thought about it and I realized like why
Yeah.
he was like doing it was so he wouldn't destroy the moon when he jumped off of it.
Or so he wouldn't destroy the Earth.
Oh yeah, but he wanted to
both-
like get a
both
sense of
cases.
like how much force to use, which I thought was really a nice
He's
touch.
so responsible.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the manga there was a lot more going on the moon. Like when he landed, he did have like a little bit of
Nervous.
exposition that was really
Mhm.
funny. So
Yeah.
it was kind of disappointing to see him cut it out. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
Fan service.
that time constraints, you know.
Mhm. Time
I just know that
constraints
if
and
I was a
stuff.
villain in the One Punch Man universe, all I would be trying to do now is just try and fling him into space. That's, that's
so-
And just
apparently.
not aim at the moon, just aim at
Yeah,
space.
just don't aim at the
I was
one
actually-
thing nearby.
Yeah.
I was actually having this discussion with my brother.
How you defeat him?
Who's well, so my brother's a physicist, and we were arguing about this just because he likes realism and things. And I was
Oops.
like, he could probably just like take off one of his boots and use that as a baseboard, and then send that flying through
No.
a planet. And yeah,
You couldn't jump off a boot.
you can totally
You
jump
can't
off
get
a
the
boot. All
velocity off of a boot. You just kick it
yeah,
away.
you can. You just need something else that you can put force into.
I guess if you have put so much I don't know. I feel like you disintegrate the boot before you could actually
You
launch
would
back
totally
to the planet.
Oh.
you,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
would.
but
Hmm.
it would still be
Physically
a
speaking,
baseboard enough.
you could still do it.
Because the important
Yeah.
thing is you're not starting from a stop. You're starting from the velocity you've already been sent
So
flying at. Which-
I hate to do the appeal to authority, but I'm going to bring it up here. My brother goes to MIT for physics.
Yeah, but he's not
He
here to
didn't-
defend himself right now, so he's
No,
wrong.
but he didn't poke holes in that theory, and we were discussing this for several hours. So it's just like, I think I'm safe here. Somebody might be able to like yell at me some more, but
Welcome to the
Yeah.
Astrophysics is part of the podcast.
I'll definitely give season 2 a shot, but I definitely was watching the last 3 episodes being like, please don't become Bleach, please don't become Bleach, this
So
is totally
here's the
becoming
thing.
Bleach, please stop being Bleach.
Mhm.
That's the nice thing about One Punch Man. After this, I actually don't remember Saitama fighting anybody.
Okay.
He does fight casual monsters here and there again, but nothing. There's never
Yeah,
a
no
big,
serious fights.
yeah.
Oh,
the
that
rest
sounds
is-
great.
The rest
they-
is weird gag stuff. The only
Yeah.
quote unquote fight I remember is him having like a quote unquote fight with a hero sub organization where he called Silverfang in to do DDR and King in to play like a dating sim competition thing.
Yeah,
It
that was the deal with
amazing.
yeah, because like right now they alluded to it in One Punch Man actually,
Yeah,
which was when
they did.
Silverfang talks about like he had to kick out his disciple Garu.
Yep.
And that's the current arc that we're dealing with now.
Okay.
And so he doesn't show up and actually do something until that arc begins, which isn't till pretty like later into the like we're not even in it in the current arc or in the current manga, the nice version. It's we're just like starting that arc. So like there's still a lot more to go in that before he even shows up at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
when he
if
does,
the
he
show
does
goes right
like,
back to being like silly, then I'll be a lot more interested for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
it does it.
Honestly, I really wish they had actually taken 24 episodes, spaced it out a little bit more, put the spaceship arc maybe around episode 18, and then just kind of ended with just another stupid episode for episode 24 or something like that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
taking their time.
I just never
say-
want to have another episode that is an ensemble of 30 different people and
Yeah.
they're all gonna fight this guy,
Okay.
but he's just too hard and they gotta
So-
become more stronger and believe in themselves.
So that does happen again, but in a very different way to what was in the finale of the anime.
Which arc was
Okay.
that? Is that the Monster Association one, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that probably wouldn't happen for like 3-4 seasons at the pace that the anime went. Because the
Yeah.
manga's not even there yet.
Yeah, the manga's not even there yet. And that's and like even then when they do show up and start doing things, it's more of like it's not even the same like scale. It's more of just like we just need like 5 people to go and take care of this like minute problem. And then like
Yeah.
it just so happens to be like coinciding with like Saitama trying to like go to sleep at night. So people keep making loud noises and he just gets frustrated
Mhm.
and he just like goes and like deals with it because he's just like, look, man, I'm just trying to sleep. Could you guys like shut up? And that's like the entire purpose for him being there.
Here's my suggestion for season 2: cut every character except for the Tsundere Lolly character,
Oh,
and just
God, I
have
hate
her.
her.
Just have her
Tornado?
ass it up for
Tornado
12
is-
episodes.
She's
I
really
hate
boring.
Tornado. She's so
She's
obnoxious.
really, really obnoxious. Yeah.
So,
But I mean,
Okay,
she is
to put it-
28.
so to put it in perspective, chapter 30 of One Punch Man is right when the finale of One Punch Man begins.
That doesn't really put it in perspective of me.
Well, that's how much pacing's going on. So 12 episodes and condensed into 30 chapters. Like,
yeah, I can
that's-
see that.
Vice
being-
versa. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Or yeah,
It's
vice
very
versa.
difficult
But
to do
that's-
if it's not Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, well, Dragon Ball Z is take like take 5 chapters, make it 25,
Oh yeah.
and that's the mythology that Toei's always gone with, which is like, how can we stretch it?
And hire 10 different animation companies to do it.
It's as
Yep.
long as they're not, yeah, as long as they don't get it looking perfect, then we'll hire them.
Oh, there's no comic as slow as Walking Dead.
That's not true. One Punch Man is pretty slow.
Yeah.
A new chapter
the-
comes out like
the-
maybe once every couple months.
Well, the thing about
new-
Walking Dead is that a chapter will come out once a month, and the chapter will
And
be
nothing
2
happens.
conversations,
Yeah.
and then that's
I
a
mean-
whole chapter.
So,
I mean, how many pages though?
20.
Yeah, that's generous.
7.
One Punch Man maybe will get like 20
7.
if it's feeling fancy.
Jesus.
yeah, usually it's about 7. Maybe 9.
I assume it's
And that's
probably
like
a build up to pay off of a joke usually, though, right?
No.
No,
So
he
the
just-
thing is, the manga artist does works on multiple projects, so he
Yeah.
can't.
Oh.
he does
Sucks.
it as a side project.
This feels like the most successful, overblown side project ever made.
Yeah,
it
It's like
is.
they're throwing so much money and talent at something that nobody is really putting their whole like energy into.
The most
It's really
successful,
strange.
the most successful accidental side project since Game Grumps.
That's actually
Oops.
wow. Yeah.
Was Game Grumps really a side
Yeah,
project?
it's totally a
was,
side project.
Okay.
Because
That was not
Aaron,
a
Aaron-
career.
Aaron once said on a tweet, if I ever become an LPer, just shoot me. So he
Yeah.
never intended to really take
Well,
this as
so-
seriously as he did.
I remember that tweet. That came out after Game Grumps started, I believe.
No,
And
I don't think so.
So for years, like pretty much for the entire JonTron run, he denied that what they did was Let's Playing.
What?
Like he hated the word Let's Play. He mentioned it in a couple of episodes, making fun of Let's Players and stuff, despite the fact that he was doing Let's Play stuff.
He also
He just-
shares like an office with Markiplier now. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
so I
Well,
think he's turned around, but for like the first year and a half, he was very avidly like defending himself as not being an LPer.
I think he also had a much more specific definition than
This is
is,
true.
is,
Yeah.
is applicable, because he thought Let's Players were people who basically just talk about what they're doing while they're doing it, and talk about,
Yeah.
well, basically what you and me do for the most part, as opposed to what they do, which is like 2 people sitting on a couch cracking jokes that may or may not have anything to do with the game, and
Right.
just
Yes.
playing a thing. Like today they did Ice Age while talking about a mythical historical figure they made up in that episode, and that was the whole
Glorious.
episode. Because that's just what they do. But so he probably
or
thought
get
that
lost in
didn't count.
Sonic for 20 episodes.
Oh,
Bert
yeah.
and I just did that with a dude called Smokeweed.
Yeah, we did do that with
Whoop.
Smokeweed. It was great. I love doing that sort of stuff. I don't know.
It's
I'm
pretty
probably
great.
a terrible LPer.
So
Oh, yeah.
I've got an idea to close the anime topic, which is that I think you all are way more exposed to manga and anime than I am, basically.
Yes.
Where-
To various levels, for sure.
I basically
to a degree, I'm pretty uncomfortable with.
like I basically watched Toonami and Adult Swim anime and read Shonen Jump, the monthly comic that was in America, and watched
Yeah,
all
How did that
of
go for you?
Full Metal
I'm like-
Alchemist. I watched all of Full Metal Alchemist
Yeah.
and all of Attack on Titan so far, basically.
I'm
and that's
maybe
like
like
it.
one. Or, I'm like 5.
So I want you
Man,
three to agree on a recommendation for me to watch by next podcast.
Okay,
It's,
Oh.
I'll tell you.
okay.
I'll tell you right now what to watch. I have my anime chart ready, and like I am
I sent
serious
him
about
an
this. This is
anime
my
chart a
life.
few weeks ago just to piss him off, just because other people hate other people's
Don't-
opinions about anime.
Yeah.
It worked.
That is
I
that is
triggered
garbage.
4 different
Don't do that.
people.
Don't
That
do
is
that to people.
Brilliant. I
It
want to see
worked.
this anime chart
you
then.
you
The
probably
chart
you
was
probably saw
awful.
me
It
trigger
was-
purple in chat.
yes,
well, I mean, that's
saw
the
that.
easiest
Okay.
fucking thing to do.
There's a series coming out next season called Dimension W. I think you'll enjoy it.
Man.
Check it out.
Nah, man. Boku no Hero Academia.
Yeah, let's
That's the
recommend
one.
something I can watch already.
Oh, right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, for next time.
I was saying
they
something to
record
watch
this.
between now and next episode because I'm unexposed to anime.
Oh. Oh,
Try
God.
try Iron Blooded Orphans. It's pretty good. I like it.
This is definitely the
Um,
first time I've heard of that one.
What came
It's
out in
Gundam.
fall? Was there anything
Yeah.
good? A bunch of Moe garbage.
Yeah,
bunch of Moe
this
garbage.
season-
Chad
was
is
One
saying
Punch Man
Fruit of
and Iron-
Grisaya. And there's someone,
Grisaya.
and one of my fans keeps keeps encouraging me to watch Fate Stay Night.
No.
It's such a rabbit hole. You're like, good luck trying to find the first like in the series to watch and then continue from there.
No.
Oh,
Ah,
does it have the Ghost in the
Gris-
Shell problem where you're like,
Like,
where is this
you're-
part?
No.
you're
Yeah.
better off
Suppose-
watching. Like, I'm gonna tell you to go watch Index. Like, go watch Index and then go watch Railgun, and then just come back to me and tell me how you feel about doing like down the rabbit hole bullshit kind of stuff like that.
Actually, Ghost in the Shell is pretty linear, but ignore the movies because what the hell? Like the first movie makes sense. Ignore the second one.
I definitely I watched a bunch of the original series, then randomly picked up one of the movies and did not know what the context was for watching the movie.
So, the movies and the animes have nothing to do with each other, and they never reference either of
That
each other.
makes so
Oh.
much more sense.
Whoa.
now.
As far as I can tell, they
Oh.
actually are in completely different universes.
so
You know,
there's
they
no
did
laughing man
Appleseed.
in the movies.
You know, it'd be
No.
good for you to watch, Keith. Watch Gangsta.
Gangsta?
Gangsta.
Have you guys seen Gangsta?
Nope.
Nope.
Does anyone know what Gangsta
have.
is?
I can tell you it's something that you would be interested in. Just
Does it
because
not
it's
have
not
power levels?
You had no power levels. It is a complete world like kind of just like it sets you in a world. Nobody has like weird power level things. It's just a straight story about like a olden kind of times kind of thing with like some issues going on, like mafia kind of issues going on in the city.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, I could see that working out pretty well for Keith.
Yeah, we could try
It's-
giving
I
that a
think you would
shot.
enjoy that.
Yeah, I would check out the first episode of Gangsta. It's all of it's already out. It's only like I think 12 or 13 episodes.
Hmm.
We
and
definitely,
it's
we
really
definitely
good.
watched
I'll check it out with you, Keith.
not too long
I've
ago we
never heard
watched
of it
Tokyo
either.
Godfathers, which was pretty interesting actually.
That is good.
That was a
didn't
cool
we watch
little
that?
movie. Yeah, I watched that with you and Joe at my house.
Yeah,
That was an adventure.
yeah, we watched Tokyo Godfather.
What do you think
together.
of the Ito comic, the mangas?
Those are special. Twilight Zone.
Uzumaki,
Those are like-
Amagata Vault.
That
Mm.
guy
Stuff.
that guy makes like Lovecraftian Twilight Zone episodes in manga form. Like it's all building up to one big reveal of a weird thing, and it's a quick to like 20 to 30 page comic, and they're all like just what the fuck, man.
Yeah, you should definitely check out Uzumaki because
Yeah.
it's like it's
I
a
was-
little bit longer.
I've been
paced
planning on
than
ordering a
those.
physical copy of that.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
It's like
Yeah.
$15 on Amazon.
Oh,
You should you should definitely watch Himoto Umaru-chan. Perfect. Perfect
Jesus
for you.
Christ.
No,
You're gonna love
no,
it.
No.
Yeah,
Just watch the
Chad's
opener.
now saying Chaos Head and Angel Beats.
Don't watch Angel Beats. You're not gonna like it. You're not.
I just
I
like
know who
reading
you
chat
are, and you're
suggestions
not
to
gonna
have
like
Andrew
Angel
shit on
Beats.
them.
It's no Angel Beats is good. I like Angel Beats, but the problem is like it's not something you're gonna like, and I know
Yeah.
it's not something you're gonna like.
Conceptually, it's kind of interesting because there's a bunch of people stuck in the afterlife. But from a like serious, you want something you can sink your teeth into? No.
No,
So for
No,
gangsta,
it's-
if I'm currently looking at a thing with people wearing like pants with belts and like black jackets
Yeah.
with collars, that's the right one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That guy's got a
Yeah.
sword and a dumb grin.
Yep.
All right, I'll
That's
check
it.
that out.
Yeah. That one looks more like level-headed. If you look up Angel Beats, you'll be like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna deal with this shit. Like,
That's
It-
how I feel
like,
about
imagine- it's just the
Bayonetta.
worst. It's like the worst
Oh,
part of
God.
anime, which is like, hey, you know what would be worse than dying? Dying and being stuck in purgatory while doing school life every day.
I
And it's like,
actually,
oh god.
I did not know the enigma of Amigara Fault was the Uzumaki guy.
Oh,
Fuck.
totally.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys read that one?
Uzumaki
Oh, yeah,
or
that's-
Enigma.
that's-
No, no.
Amigara
Enigma-
Fault's probably
I
the
met
first one
I met
anyone's
them
read.
both. They're incredible. They're both amazing.
I read
God,
that
now
I think a couple weeks ago, and I had a nightmare about it. I was just like, "Fuck, man, I don't."
DDR.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Amigara Fault is basically the Western audience's entry point for that
It really
that
is.
character
It gets
because it
a lot
went,
of
kind of went
people into
viral on
it.
the internet for a while.
Now,
Mhm.
is Uzumaki the guy that did King of Thorn too, or no?
I
Was
don't
that
think
something
so.
else?
I think that was just
Okay.
that was like more of a straightforward like monster horror thing. So that was
Okay,
and for the record,
Oh, yeah.
his name is Junji Ito.
I
Okay.
forgot about these.
He has a
Yeah,
story
man.
he has like a 3-part horror story about spirals. I think
yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that's Uzumaki.
Yeah, the
it's
one-
like,
Yeah, that's
it's
Uzumaki.
like
the one I showed
it's not
Bird
even
recently.
3-part though. It's like 10
that-
parts.
It's
all
is
about
that
this like
the-
well, it's
city.
3 volumes.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, a few days ago,
Is
I
it-
showed Bird of basically what was like a Zit monster
The
story.
glycerin. Yeah, I'd forgotten that I read that one. It's
Really unfortunate.
Oh, I kind of have this like thing now where I'm like looking through this list and I'm looking at all the like the really shitty anime that I watch because I just have bad taste sometimes. And like I'm thinking of like what is the best bad taste anime I could recommend to Keith, and like
Oh,
the best
no.
one I came up with, Monster Mitsume no
You're not
Hiro
gonna-
Nichijou.
You're not gonna say
Watch
dot
Mon-
hack sign.
No, just look
No.
up Monster Mitsume and tell me that you're gonna watch this because it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, is this the one where you jack off your PSP in order to play it?
No.
no.
I mean,
so
PS Vita. PSP doesn't have a
This one,
touchscreen.
this one combines like Monster Girl fantasies with like as extensive of a harem as the guy could come up with. It's
wow.
Oh, I was thinking,
disturbing.
I was thinking
beautiful.
Monster Mon piece. Never mind.
No.
That's a game where you.
Okay.
It's a card game with monsters and anime girls where I think you unpack the booster packs by sliding. You have to like put your finger on the touch pad on the front screen and the back screen of the Vita and go up and down with it.
You gotta
Oh,
eject
God.
from this conversation.
And you basically strip the anime girls to play an RPG
You know
card
what?
game.
Perfect.
you know, like
Perfect.
Andrew and
10 out
I
of
keep
10.
suggesting really shitty like anime that nobody should ever watch. You're the one that's coming up with the shitty stuff that nobody wants.
Oh, yeah. I listen to
That's
a lot
like
of
a-
podcasts. I hear about shit. Like way too
Oh,
much
what was
shit.
that one that just came out this season that was really, really garbage? What was it
I
called?
made 2 chats uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's that. Do you remember what it was, Wander? It's that monster something. I can't remember the name of it.
What are we
It's like
talking about?
the whole thing's based on a phone game that just came out in Japan, and the anime is just like
Huh.
so scummy about it.
And it's
No,
not
I know
Mon-
what
and
you're
it's,
talking
and it's
about.
not Monster
Monster
Mon
Monster
Oh.
Strike. Monster Strike is what it's called. It's literally a 12 episode anime that's just an advertisement for a phone game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
I saw that. I
Gross.
saw the
That's
I saw
awful.
the thing for
What is it,
that.
80s
was
So
just
the
like-
cartoons?
Pokemon anime, basically.
Yeah, or all of the
It's
80s
worse
cartoons
just
we
because
made.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like these kids playing in like a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of world where like the monsters physically come real in these arenas.
Oh,
Oh,
it's not
no.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
But they had to like come up with this weird arbitrary like plot to make
So
it drive
Yu-Gi-Oh.
forward. And like the
Monster
plot
Rancher.
makes no sense. Like if you I downloaded
Monster
the game
Rancher's
and I
bad.
actually played the game to try to see if the game's anything like the show. Completely different. Just 100% not how the game gets played. And it's just it's so great.
You know what? I gotta say though, to the show's credit, the main character does not look like a weirdo.
No, but he
That's-
does the Yugi
That's
thing.
a
But,
good
like
thing.
Oh,
but,
right.
like when he's
got
when he's playing
He doesn't have a
got, like a
starfish
weird
head?
shogunate-looking spirit behind him, and his hair turns red. You're
Oh.
right, but
Yeah.
at least he
Oh.
still doesn't look creepy as hell with the weird death trap hair.
Is that a very
Yeah, I guess
common
that's true.
thing? Like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Hikaru no Go?
Yeah.
Where like
people who
um,
have hair
an
that's like a
expert
danger
ghost
to
from the
others.
from
I
the
mean,
past
it's-
possesses the main
it's-
character?
it's a convenient way to write the character into suddenly being good at a shitty card game. Or Go.
Yeah, or Go.
Or Go.
There was a
Uh,
blood stain on my Go board, and now this ghost possesses me.
Don't talk about the
Man.
Go anime. Come on, guys.
I read
I
so
watched
much of it.
5 episodes of that, and I was just like,
Okay, have you guys watched Akaiji?
no,
real
I haven't
thing?
even heard of it.
Okay, you need to watch Akaiji. Akaiji is literally like the first season is literally a guy stuck on a boat, and he basically will be stuck with millions of dollars of debt if he can't win a rock paper scissors card game against strangers.
What?
Dokapon,
Just-
but
just
god,
look-
that main character design is amazing.
Amazing. Look it up. It is such a good series.
Every now and then we get a anime premise that just sounds like someone got really bored and was like, maybe I can make this work. I did it.
It's even greater because like it doesn't just extend to there. Like it's a whole like a Saw like game series for rich people to laugh at. So
That is
like
quite a
it
beat.
goes from like
Dude.
rock paper scissors and then it goes to like some other stuff and then other stuff. It's crazy, but like just check that out. I think you would enjoy
Akaji
just the intensity.
character?
All right, so this Kaiji protagonist looks like he took 12 prosthetic noses and stacked them on top of each other.
Yeah. And
You know what's
chins.
weird?
I think Wander made this character in a character creator.
Yes, I totally have. He was our Dark Souls 2 co-op
no.
character.
If you're
was
also
one of his
feeling
first.
if you're feeling like you don't know enough about mahjong, you can check out his other series, which is called Akagi, and the character looks exactly the same.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right,
Now, in the same vein, just before we move too far away from like anime or whatever, there's a really stupid one about bread for a while. I watched like 56 episodes about
What?
a kid that made bread.
Wait,
was
Why did you
awesome.
watch that many?
I was really bored. I was
More
a freshman
importantly, why
kid.
did you stop?
Really?
like Wander, I get bored, and I've watched like Girls Bravo and To Love Ru, but like I've never watched an anime about a kid baking bread. That just sounds awful.
Have you seen any of Shogeki no Soma at all?
Yes,
Okay, so think that, but like
less fun.
slightly less intense
Okay,
wow.
great.
and more goofy. It's about the general look like feel between both is actually surprisingly similar. Yeah, Yakitate Japan, that's the one I was thinking of.
I'm kind of with Keith in that anytime somebody immediately mentions like something that has like any Japanese words in the title, I'm just like, I have no idea.
Yeah, there's
anymore.
nothing to cling to because if you know what the words mean, you're just like,
I
those are
just get
those are syllables.
completely
I-
left behind.
Yeah,
I've seen
Shiba
this
Inu.
before.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly
Matsuri Japan.
good. I was really disappointed they didn't give us like bread recipes as part of like each chapter. 'Cause I
Wait,
really
it's a
actually
whole
wanted
thing
to
about
try
bread and
making
it doesn't
some of
have
these.
bread recipes?
Yeah, it doesn't. It was
At,
weird.
at least the Go manga would give
Wow.
you tutorials on Go maneuvers in the
Yeah,
end of the chapter. That was a thing
the
they
other
did.
one I mentioned, Shigeki no Soma actually gives you recipes every once in a while, but I can't make
Yeah,
them because
every
they
once in a
usually
while.
require stuff that I can't get in the US, no matter how hard I tried.
So as our
Yeah,
That's the thing
transition,
that I hated. That's the only part I hated about that show is like I watch it and go like, man, that looks really good. And I look up online, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't live in Japan. I guess I can't eat that ever. It's like,
Yeah,
great.
like if you watched a movie about chess and not a single chess maneuver piece was mentioned in the entire
This doesn't- They
movie.
never show the board.
like if
That'd
there was
be
an entire
amazing.
basketball anime and all you saw was someone doing a jump shot every now and then and just said they won the whole game.
Yeah,
We
unfortunately,
actually have
Shogeki no Soma has not given recipes recently.
We have a
Sucks.
convenient transition
No.
from anime to video games because Andrew
Okay.
can tell us a little something about his high school romance playthrough he's been doing.
Do we have to? Why
Yes.
is this all about bullying me? What's
Because we don't know how
because
long we
it's
got you
fun.
for, and you did a
Fun.
20-part completed playthrough.
Also,
I-
what,
a
are,
high
what are
school
we going to
romance
bully
game.
me or Keith about? Our fairly serious
I don't know.
RPG playthroughs?
I guess that's true. I do
mean-
play a lot of stupid shit now.
Phantom Brave is pretty heartbreaking.
You can
but
mostly
apart
just
from
bully
that-
us for no lifing,
That's true.
but we're over that because we've been doing that for like 20 years.
Speaking of which, someone did suggest that in your comments was watch No Game No Life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was an
Don't watch
anime
it.
name.
That is an anime.
I
Is
don't
that the
understand
one
what
with
my
the
husband's talking
twins?
about.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
I
the
tried
one.
watching the first episode of that, and I was just like, this is really boring.
That's definitely
Yo,
the thing
who-
about anime
running
names is you
this-
can't tell their names of animes.
this person suggesting don't watch Hunter x Hunter. You're gonna be disappointed when you realize that it's on permanent hiatus. Like you're gonna catch up and go like, oh, this whole thing's on permanent hiatus.
Whoops.
You either can't tell it's an anime name or
That's
it's in
not
Japanese and you can't
permanent
tell
hiatus
anything
doesn't
about
make
it.
sense.
It
Yeah,
does.
really
You
just
Like,
can't have a permanent hiatus. It's either
Here,
I'm
canceled.
gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something.
My great grandmother's on permanent
Okay.
hiatus. Whatever the fuck that means.
no, your grandmother's been canceled. There's no promise of her in the future. I hope not.
Oh god. I mean, but if it's been canceled, then that might mean that you could revive the series later on. Smack a new
Right.
Okay.
production team behind it. If it's on hiatus, then that means you're never giving it up.
Are you talking about rebooting my
That-
grandma?
Yeah, we're
That
gonna
is-
reboot your grandma. We're gonna give her.
I sent a picture in the link, or I sent the link of a picture, and that picture shows you like when it first started and how often he took hiatuses, and then where he is currently.
Oh, he would take like half a year
Wow.
off to most of a year off every year for a while.
Yeah.
Holy
Like-
crap!
Don't
Yeah.
start Hunter x Hunter unless you're committed to not matching up
Oh.
and not knowing what happens in the
so
end.
I didn't know that, so I binged every. How many chapters are there? Like 300 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I read all of them in a
There's a
weekend.
good deal of them.
And then I got to the end, and this is, by the way, this is in 2009 when I read Hunter x Hunter.
Oh.
Notice when those two X's are.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I started reading it on the third circle, not realizing it was
see
a
this
pretty
again.
disappointing. Yeah.
It's like yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm a
Honestly,
pretty
it's
firm
not
believer of the
very good,
idea of just inventing your own finale for an anime and never coming back to it. I've told Andrew about this. I did this for both Death Note and Bleach, where I watched the first
so-
2 seasons or story arcs or whatever of Bleach to the Soul Society with Ruki and everything, and then I just called that the
good
end of the
job.
show and
Yeah,
never
that
came
was
back.
actually
Here's a
probably
clap.
a good time for it.
And then Death Note,
That's-
there was one very long conflict with the enemy character that's very well done and goes on for like 100 issues of the manga, and then the show ends for me. There's no follow up. I think that there's
That's
like
fine.
500 chapters and 50 movies or something, but I don't need those. It's cool. I got a really
Yeah.
good story out of where that exact stopping point.
The only
I got enough.
series that I do not regret reading all the way to like the 600s chapters is One Piece, just because it hasn't stopped being fun.
Oh god, I can't let you
Man.
guys talk about One Piece.
Okay, yeah,
I
let's
can't
talk
let
about
that start because
Okay,
Andrew's
forever.
way too deep.
Moving on.
He's gonna have a
Yeah.
You know
tattoo
what?
soon if he doesn't have one yet.
Okay, let's go back to video games. Let's go back to video games specifically today. Did you guys hear that Steam got fucked up?
Yep.
No.
So
Yes.
Steam,
I was,
Like
I was
cash
busy having
validation.
Christmas.
Okay. So Steam basically would load cached versions of all the websites, to save on.
but
Like,
wrong.
but it would like give you the wrong like profile. So you go onto
So
like
if
your
you went
Steam
to your-
store, it
well,
would be
if you
someone
went
else's
to your-
account.
Yeah, if you went to your like profile, you could see other people's like credit card information and phone numbers and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
incredible bad like
Oh,
is a little
security
no.
breach.
A little
And
bad.
the thing is, what I'm really disappointed about with Steam is that if you go
Yes.
to this, they
No, we're
pretend
losing
it does
Bird.
not happen.
We've lost Bird. The
Oh.
time Bird finally has a long speech and it's gone.
Here, just do
Hi.
it again. Just do it again.
Hi, am I back again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm really disappointed about is that Steam's customer service is shit. And
Awful.
this is like
Yes.
yet another instance of where they completely fell down on it. If you go on their Twitter, they make no statement of this whatsoever. And yeah, I get it's Christmas. So I do understand that there's a bit of a staff thing going on here.
That's
But
the
it's
dick
like-
move on a hacker's part is that they strike when people are likely not to be.
I don't know if
wasn't
it was a
hacking. It
hacker.
was just
No,
a
right.
glitch.
But that
It was
definitely
a server mess up.
that's definitely one
Yeah.
they choose to strike though. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's also true, yeah. But it's
That was wasn't that last year? Like last year, both
Yeah.
PSN and Xbox
Oh,
Live
yeah.
were down for
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
weeks.
Stricken
Yes.
That's
from the
true.
record.
But yeah, it's like they should have just at least said something to like
Yeah,
alleviate
just put up
people's
a little update
concerns.
being like, yo,
Oh, yeah.
you should probably be aware of this.
And nothing,
Radio
I mean-
silence.
I really am not actually a big fan of Steam at all.
No, I
Like,
think it's
at
a
all.
great. I think it's a great platform for collecting all games together.
Mhm.
But I wish it was handled by people that were
a little bit
more
more
platform-
ethical, maybe.
Well, not even ethical. Like I think the thing is they made Steam not realizing what it would become, and now they don't know what to do with it because they can't just hand it to somebody else.
Yeah.
But they don't want it.
No, they really don't, because they don't want to sink in the money to like support it. Because
Now they're trapped
Steam
with
is
it.
very successful because they like cut a lot of corners on their customer service, I think.
Oh yeah,
They don't have customer
I have a pretty
service.
bad
doesn't
customer
exist.
service story to tell, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
Do you
for it.
do you guys want to hear the breakdown
Oh.
of the whole PayPal thing that happened with me?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awful.
Oh,
So-
I hear PayPal's really great customer service.
I had an all-around nightmare week at one point where
it was fucking atrocious.
This is like the only time I used PayPal in a very long time too, but I just mistakenly did it for like a few transactions over the course of like a day. I ordered a new computer online via iBuyPower. I bought a game on PlayStation 4, and I bought Tales of Zestiria on Steam all in that amount of time. And someone tried to access my PayPal account from Russia, so PayPal rightfully blocked them from access and warned me that someone tried to get on. But then they also interpreted all of my recent transactions as being fraudulent and tried to cancel
Right.
them all. And so that was basically the equivalent of initiating a chargeback on all of those companies. Now I immediately,
Which, when you do that on Steam,
yeah, they get mad.
they get really mad.
But
at you
also,
for
it wasn't
doing that.
really like all the companies that I contacted interpreted it as being a chargeback, but on PayPal's end, it was actually more of an inquiry. That was like the beginning of that, but wasn't actually genuinely doing it yet. So the idea is they were supposed to talk back and forth, but of course Steam doesn't talk back and forth, and this other company doesn't talk back and forth because they're also kind of shitty. So what I had to do is I had to call PayPal about this. Got transferred 4 times trying to get this because they couldn't understand my problem or kept switching between different people and stuff like that. But ultimately, I was able to tell them, yes, for the love of God, approve all of these transactions. But while they were approving these transactions, there's like a solid like week amount of time basically where just there's no way of knowing whether or not any of this is working because there's just a ton of money in the air and you have no idea what's going on and who has my money even at that point. iBuyPower just flat out had my fully built computer that I had ordered like 3 weeks ago, but they didn't charge me until it was finished building. They just went ahead and just destroyed. They just took the computer apart and canceled my order, and if I wanted to do it, I'd have to start the entire process over again, and basically have to wait another month again. Sony, to their credit, said nothing, and just let the whole thing blow over like normal. But Steam locked my entire account, so I couldn't play any of my games or buy anything related to the
So
transaction.
you had to borrow my account for like a week or two.
To this day, my saves are a little broken on Tales of Zestiria because when I continued the series, I played using Wander's saves on his account, then copy pasted my updated saves back into my folder when I started playing on my account again. And there's a weird thing where they're shown out of order, so I can't try to delete any of the saves because if I do, it'll delete the wrong one on that list.
Weird.
And I found out the hard way that if I try to delete the top, because like basically the top, they're shown chronologically in my saves list, but the top one is not chronological. It's weirdly out of order. But if I tried to press Y to delete it, it'll delete a different save on that list that's not
so
that one.
I had that problem. I actually have that problem too. It's
Maybe
not
I
because
did
of
it.
your issue. It's a problem with the game itself.
It could just be
my
a problem
save
in the
file
game.
at the top is from the 70s.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
So it saved the epoch wrong. Wow.
I'm thinking that might be suspiciously wrong.
But basically,
Yeah.
one bad interaction basically soured multiple things with multiple companies and ruined basically what's part of my livelihood for a few weeks, where like
Right.
everything was kind of falling down around me. And
Yeah.
the nightmare
Doesn't-
thing is like the PayPal people were like, "Look, if you can connect me with the person for their customer service, I can explain everything."
They have
but
none.
but fucking
Steam has
Steam,
none.
you can't call them. He's like, "But I have this number right here that says Steam customer service." And I'm like, "Yeah, and it won't do anything."
That's almost like someone
They
telling
just
you,
lie
like,
to
well,
you.
it's like if you can dodge this bullet from the gun, you won't die. It's like,
Yeah.
great.
So to PayPal's
No.
credit, they did try to help, but fuck, everything was fucked.
I think I think the policy on Steam is if you do a chargeback, like they basically will just lock your account
Oh
down.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
they were just
without-
holding the game ransom, and I couldn't even like try to buy it again or anything like that to like cancel and start over the transaction from a different source. And there was just there's
It's not even the
literally
game,
no
it's
way to
your, like,
talk to
all
them.
your account. Yeah.
You're like Steam treats you like a stubborn child. Like, how dare you do this? Go in timeout. And you're like,
Yeah.
but I didn't do something wrong. It's like I won't believe
it's like
you
I'm
until
a
you prove otherwise.
consumer. I have
So-
this right to do this.
My landlord just recommended going to the subreddit and contacting the moderator of the Steam subreddit because that's the most likely person I could contact for kind of getting customer support.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm.
That's
So-
concerning.
I actually had an issue with Steam years ago. I was in Croatia, and I was trying to buy games, but there are a bunch of games that aren't available in Europe for various reasons. I'm like, hey, I can't play these games because, I bought them in the US, but it's like, you can't bring this over to Europe. How do I unlock it so I can play my games in Europe? And the person sent me a very strongly worded email that if I try and, if I keep trying to import games illegally into Europe, they will, delete my Steam account.
Wow.
Figure, yeah.
I was just like,
No European
oh.
vacation for the PC Master
Wait,
Race.
Well, I guess I'm gonna just go play Guild Wars for the entire time.
So,
and did.
so if I
Yahtzee better stay in Australia.
So if I install, like, say I install crappy High School Romance on my computer, and then I go, like, happen to take a plane ride over to Europe, I can't play my Steam games in
I mean,
Europe?
in that case, I would say pick your battles.
Yeah,
What?
I was. Yeah,
because
Steam will
because
actually do
fuck
that.
High School Romance.
Because they
Well,
know
yeah,
your
it's
IP
not worse,
address, and
but-
it's why Deadpool, for example, can't be played at all in Germany, no matter what.
Because they don't sell it.
Yeah, they won't.
Yeah.
That's really weird because that's something that doesn't exist physically. Because, like, if I brought my PS4 over to Europe, like, screw you, I just brought my PS4 to Europe, you can't do anything about it. But
it's because European law has a lot more consumer protections built into it, and Steam
This is basically the entire argument for GOG,
now. Yep.
Yes.
more or less.
but everything's on Steam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Because
just don't
everyone
wanna
wants to
deal
use
with-
Steam anyway.
I will admit, I used GOG for Witcher because they gave me a copy for free through GOG.
Because they're
GOG
basically the
also
same
has
company.
really weird international
Isn't
problems,
GOG
though.
and CD Projekt Red kind of the same company or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Good Old Games pays a fair portion. Like they're effectively like a sponsor for CD Projekt Red.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
they have
They
the
don't-
exact same mentality.
Yes. And so
But it is worth noting that though GOG has better DRM and stuff like that for sure,
they still have
it-
a lot of problems.
it has a lot of
They're
problems
just
with
better.
Europe as well. So like
Yeah.
the same problem would exist where you can't play your GOG games over in Europe.
That
Well, it's because European law
Man.
says that you have the ability to refund shit, and they hate that. They don't want you to be able to refund games.
That's
Yeah.
weird
But
because
just-
it kind of means that it's not DRM free.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
like then
It's
That's-
America DRM
That's,
free.
that's kind of a lie.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that false advertising?
No.
Like, Well, I guess not because you're in
realistically for
America.
most
Yeah,
people.
because you're in America. So there you go.
Yeah, we don't care about the
Crack
rest of
a
the
shit.
world.
Mhm.
As shown by
Like,
how,
that almost makes
how
me-
none of the other people outside this region are in this podcast.
That's like I just want to like now go and
True.
like I just want to go to my local GameStop, buy a bunch of PS4 games, and then bring them to Australia and sell them just to like spite
you
the
would
government.
get in so much
You would get
trouble.
It's just like-
crazy trouble, dude. That's like go to prison.
I mean, like, what are they
Yeah.
gonna do? I'm just gonna run into the wilds. You know, they can't just
No.
like
That, that's a great idea.
Run into
Totally
the
can't
wilds.
do that.
You would be the least effective anarchist in the history of.
This is real world, not Divergent.
That's true. I'd
It's not
probably
just
end
a
up
big empty
burning
area that
everything.
no one will walk into because it's past a line.
Honestly, you'd probably get bitten by like a black mamba or something, and that'd just be the end of you.
Mm,
That's
A
not
black
Australia,
mamba.
but close
It's
enough.
your go-to.
I've been
I was gonna say
I've been
it's
looking
not
at
an
poisonous
Australian
snake.
snake.
Yeah,
I don't think
know. I was looking it up, but I didn't actually look up which ones were native to where. I just remember they're kind of in that.
The worst
You're
part
either
is that
gonna
you
get-
said you said black mamba, and I imagined a snake that's yellow with a black stripe.
See, look at Wander. All these people would buy my games.
Well, that's great.
Well,
You're still
that's
going to go to
points.
jail.
That's some
Yeah.
Aussie. He lives in Australia.
Oh
Wait,
yeah,
you can't buy Mortal Kombat X in Australia?
No,
No,
hell no.
Excuse me?
Australia's like really got some censorship going
Oh, yeah.
on now.
I mean,
you
it's-
can't buy
it's
a
like-
lot of games.
Isn't it
You
like
pop
2015?
testicles in that game.
oh yeah.
Of course, they're not going to allow
they
it.
said they fixed the problem, but they really didn't fix the problem. They just slightly changed the problem in scope.
How could you?
You
That's
know-
weird.
I'm actually really impressed that has so many bad reviews on Steam.
What
Usually,
does?
whenever Mortal Kombat X, like the PC version, just got panned so hard.
Because that had a
Was the
huge
port
launch
really bad or
problem.
something? What's up?
Yeah, huge launch problem. I
Oh,
believe the
okay.
multiplayer is still non-functional.
I think
But
it was
usually,
wiping
like,
people's saves and stuff like that. And it was also
Yeah.
like super easy to hack into like just having access to everything immediately. Like you could just circumvent their entire progression system that they were trying to monetize.
Wait, I
that
just
sounds
realized
awful.
something.
I also heard it's
Is-
just bad.
So you can play European games that you buy in America because there's no problem with that.
Generally, yeah.
Right, because European law is more restrictive than American law. So,
Cool. So
yeah.
I remember when I
That's
bought
why imports are so
SimCity.
popular here.
Yeah.
When I bought the new SimCity game, the way I got it was there was an exploit that if you change your country to Brazil and buy it, the Brazilian copy, then you could get it for like $20 cheaper. So I could go to Brazil and buy
that's
and play the
Nuvum.
game. Huh?
That's Nuvum.
Nuvum?
That's the Brazilian equivalent of Steam, kind of, sort of. I guess Green Man Gaming.
Cheating mode not included.
Actually.
Well, I bought it I bought it through the EA store.
Oh yeah. No, you're
Oh,
thinking
that
Mexico.
sort of stuff.
You're
Yeah.
thinking Mexico,
Was it
and
Mexico?
I did that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So like
Um,
at least I can go to Mexico and play my SimCity game.
I bought Titanfall 2 months after it came out for $10.
See,
Yeah,
like,
you
Huh.
can totally do that.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Admittedly, it's $5 now, and
Well, yeah. I mean, but there's like
everybody
nobody
should
on
get it at that price.
anymore.
But like, if you have a couple friends for the co-op VAI, it's totally fun.
I am
Yeah.
chat's mentioning Left 4 Dead 2, which is a censorship case where you would fight those hordes of zombies just like you always do in the other versions, but there'd be like no blood splatter and all of the bodies would disappear shortly after you attack them. And it'd be like you were fighting holograms.
uh-huh.
It looked like that training room from the first Hunger Games movie where she's shooting holograms with arrows and they just disappear. Like that's Left 4 Dead 2 in
That actually
Australia.
sounds kind of like a cool mod.
Like none of their body parts fall off or anything. They just fall over and disappear over and over again.
Oh man,
There's
that
just
must
no
mean
blood or
like
gore
Killing
really.
Floor 2 doesn't exist over there either.
Unless they censored it heavily, so you're just hitting dummies that disappear.
Probably
It's
It's
just
just
I-
called
friend-
Hugging Floor.
You're shooting friendship at people and making them like love you
What
to
a-
death.
One of my favorite things about Killing Floor is they actually have like an option that you can change for the amount of like ragdolls available
Yeah.
on screen.
Mhm.
I cranked it up to 2,000.
Uh-oh.
That was
Mistake.
probably a bad idea.
Mistake.
So they're really, really clever about hiding bodies. But we were in
Mhm.
like one room. You get attacked by so many things. I was waist deep in ragdolls. It was
They actually
Pretty
stack.
funny.
so fucking funny. It
That
was
sounds
amazing. I
pretty
was just like,
glorious, man.
I can walk through this because
Wow.
they're not impeding me in any way, shape, or form.
yeah,
But the models would just flip out anytime anybody moved anywhere. It was great.
That sounds terrifying.
and
It
no,
sounds like a
Fortunately,
zombie
my
ball
frame
pit.
rate. It was awesome. My frame rate was awful, so I didn't put it on YouTube. But I was just like, "This is really funny."
It's all
I know
fun
they
until
can-
some kid pukes in it.
Oh.
I
Oh.
don't think puke is the biggest issue you have to worry about
Yeah.
in there.
It's just anyway. I think like in Germany, for example, you're not allowed to depict blood. So almost all like
Depict?
you can't show any like blood.
That's
I
a
feel like-
very like
I feel like
that's
you
a
can
very
have blood.
Oh,
rule.
There's just
Interesting.
more violence restrictions, I think.
Killing Floor
Yeah.
2 is okay because they're not human. Left 4 Dead, there's some
Hmm.
depiction that they might still
makes
be
sense.
human.
Oh,
That makes sense. Actually,
because they're infected.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
really?
Like-
That's a
If you get like I remember like running into this with trying to pirate old video games or whatever. Like sometimes you'd have to like download weird patches. Like I mean, I wouldn't have to download the weird patches, but it'd be like if you're trying to play this with like the German localization, you also need to download this like censorship patch, which takes out all of the blood and stuff like that. Like
So
I know
Oh, thank
System
you.
Shock 2 had that. And
So-
then of course, like any game that has any like Nazi references whatsoever, they don't have that, which is actually
They just-
a really good idea. Don't get me
Is it?
wrong. Yeah, I think it's a really smart idea.
I mean, it teaches you a lesson. Don't make Nazis again. Like this is what happens. We
I
make
think that
video
they
games
learn
about
that
it.
lesson every single day over in Germany.
So I just
crippling
looked up
country debt.
German censorship and found out that apparently it's kind of a known thing that some games will turn certain enemies into robots in order to make them not human within the German version. And
Oh, interesting.
fucking
Yeah.
Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix just made every character a robot in Germany.
Well, that's like one of the most violent games ever made.
Yeah, so they're
Like,
all robots in the German version.
that game
and that's
is
how they get
infamous
around
for
it.
like depicting like brain physics, like showing how brain matter would fly out of enemies' skulls
Yeah,
when you hit
but
them with
they're
an
robots.
Uzi
You know,
and stuff.
I would actually be really happy if they went full hog on that and did like robots, like gears and servos and circuits just exploding.
Just making it the
In
most
the
gory
exact same
robot
manner.
death.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah,
With like
that would be
blue
really
fluid
funny.
spraying all over the place out of like joints and like cables and shit. And like you can see the like lightning arcing across the parts as the thing dies. I really want that.
Huh.
You know what? Because like gore is kind of gross because you just end up with fluids everywhere,
Mhm.
and like
Fluids everywhere.
you
I think
you
it's
get
a lot more
desensitized
than
to it. I think the idea of like having a game with destructive robots to the point where like you can just
Robocraft,
but like
but not stupid.
drunken robot
I
pornography.
understand.
I mean, you know how Mortal Kombat X has like the X-ray mode and like you can
Mhm.
see testicles pop, stuff
You
like
want to
that.
see punching gears? Like
Yeah,
it's like
but
a server
like,
moto just
not
stops.
shitty. I want like the 3D
splaying
modelers.
off.
I want to see like the 3D modelers go in depth and like attach wires to everything and just like go full hog to the point where like you just see just like shit going wrong in all the mechanics and oh that would be so cool.
I feel like you'd have to hire an engineering consultant to come on and just like
No!
show you how to do
What
things.
if? Okay,
I would pay so much money for that.
what if they made the robots like kind of half biological looking too? So it had like weird like muscle fibery stuff going on.
I'd
Like
be
you could see like
I'd-
shit like snapping and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be so
Crisis?
cool.
Like the
Yeah,
crisis
like
suit.
Crisis. Yeah, exactly like that sort of like look.
The
Yeah,
exo
come on,
muscle
internet.
suit.
Why isn't this made already?
So it probably is.
Oh,
Probably
I've never
sucks.
heard of it.
I just imagine Attack on Titan going to Germany and being censored into being robots. Giant muscle robots.
I wonder. I wonder
that's
how that
just-
works.
It
Like,
just
would-
turns over to the Iron Giant. There you go, done.
That'd be adorable.
Like when you
Why
slice
isn't
their
there an Iron
necks,
Giant
sparks
game?
come out instead of blood or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Attack on the Iron Giant. That would be an awful movie.
That would be
Just like
fucking
I want to be Superman.
The
It's
entire
like
cast
kissing
is
his
voice
neck.
acted by I almost said Riddick Vin Diesel.
I had no idea for years that was Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty funny when you figure it out.
Yeah.
I knew about
isn't
that
it?
movie
That's
like 7
amazing.
years before I knew who Vin Diesel was.
Yeah,
I had
that's
already
true.
seen Riddick by that point. Or Perfect Dark? No. Pitch Black.
Perfect
There we
Dark.
go.
Yeah, Perfect Dark was not a movie. Would have watched it.
I want Vin Diesel in Perfect Dark now.
Yeah.
Joanna.
What as Joanne?
Joanna, you need to not get seen now, okay? I drive cars fast.
I was
want-
really insulted. I was really insulted that I bought the rare pack for my Xbox One and realized that it came with the new Perfect Dark, and I was like, this. It wasn't even worth the money. Like, can I
Even
just
if-
return
even-
this part
even
of the
that it
game?
came with Perfect Dark Zero?
Yeah, Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
also
can I just
came with the
return
original
that part?
Perfect Dark.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
That was also disappointing when like they do the rare stamps. You know, like you get the stamps to unlock content,
Oh.
and it was like, oh, if you get all the achievements in the old Perfect Dark, you can get bonus content for it. And I was like, oh, cool, I want to go and get all the achievements, and it loads up my 360 profile and goes, oh, you already got them. I was like,
Aw, that would be
It's like,
such a
whoops.
disappointment.
and then it did. I was like, okay, well, at least Banjo Kazooie. And it was like, 100% it already. I was like,
We
This whole
resold you
pack is
games you
worthless.
completed 4 years ago.
yeah. I was like, oh no. I'm glad my N64 one doesn't do that. Like, I'd be so mad if I boot up the N64. It's like, you already beat all the game.
That would. I mean, what's the point of replay value? You just say like, "Oh, you beat
Yeah.
it once. We remember it. Here's the ending cutscene. Wasn't that
Like
fun?"
the only game besides the old retro games that they had on there, the only game that I hadn't 100%ed was Viva Pinata, and I was like, I just don't have it in me to do this.
That's supposedly the only good thing they've made since Microsoft, though.
That's
I heard Grab by the
sad.
Ghoulies
That
wasn't
game
bad.
came out a million years ago.
Oh, Grab by the Ghoulies was technically Microsoft, huh? I heard bad things about
Yeah.
that, though.
Really? I thought I heard it was okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you would fight. I think you'd kick people with the right stick, and people hated that control scheme or something. Because you had to attack with the
That
right
sounds-
stick and move with the left one, like a dual stick shooter. But you were just kicking people with a kid.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
Seeing as we're starting to get a little bit late in this podcast, maybe, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, seeing as it is game sale season, before the Steam sale goes away, do you guys? I assume most of you probably haven't bought a whole lot.
I've
just
bought
because we
zero
I was
haven't.
gonna
games
do it
so
today,
far.
but then I didn't.
I've bought nothing but games for Catterday and 4-packs.
I
don't
found
know
that-
half the crap.
I found
Yeah.
that the number one way since I moved out to save money is to never buy stuff on sale and just never buy stuff in general unless I'm about to play it like right away.
Yes.
Because you like
It's
my,
wow,
it's like
the
you
number
figured
of
out the
games.
secret.
Well, yeah,
Don't
like
buy things and you
Right.
save money.
it's like
Yeah.
you trick yourself into thinking you're saving money because they're so on sale and everything, but like the size of
Yeah.
my Steam collection compared to how much I've played shows how much of a fallacy that is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So just not buying games until I'm
I
like,
have
done with the current games, like you
948
save a
games
fortune
right now.
I could buy.
That's you?
I could pay $60 for every game I ever play right now, and probably spend less than I did last year on games, for example.
Yeah. I spent a lot last year. I just
Yeah.
don't.
So
I
so
didn't
far
really
I've bought
spend very
nothing with
much.
Steam sale, but the one thing I'm tempted by is they have 75% off on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which people keep telling me to play.
Isn't that game
I've heard that
old?
one's really
Yeah,
good.
it's a 2000s
old.
Western RPG based on
Yeah,
the
wasn't that one of the? I think that was like one of the first Source games. Like I
It's-
think that
it's
was
ba-
released before Half-Life 2 was.
It is
released.
2004, so it's right around
Yeah.
Half-Life 2's release, and it
I
is
think
a
I think it's one of the first licensed Source games, and it was released before Half-Life 2 was.
it's based on that role-playing universe, Vampire the
Yeah,
Masquerade,
the
which I've
only
played
game-
in before. It's interesting.
I think the only game I bought that was on sale was Sakurai Santa. Just was gonna play it that day.
Yeah,
So
you already did for like 2 hours.
Yep.
I did.
I
Well, because
saw that earlier.
here's my idea. I was like, well, I'm only gonna do one route as a Christmas special, and I was like, I was gonna have somebody else come and do the girl voices for me, so people didn't have to listen to my grating voice. And and then I
How
was
does
like,
your girl
well,
voice sound? I want to hear it.
well, which one? Do you want to hear my smoker girl voice, or do you want to hear my like nasally congested girl voice?
I want to hear both.
This is my smoking voice.
Oh
It's
God!
really great.
Hi, crafty gnomes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's hear the
Oh,
other
don't
one.
talk like that.
Oh
You
no,
don't even
Andrew, you're
know
clipping
me.
like crazy.
Oh,
Let's
sorry.
hear the other one.
No, in the video you
uh,
put up,
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you've made horrible mistakes.
I was using the old mics. I had the old mics set up like the right level so they wouldn't clip. But for some reason they clipped the entire time, and I was like, "Why did you do this to me?" I just regretted. I was like, I just regretted not just bringing out my Yeti
Just
mic and
sadness
just doing it that
happened.
way. Yeah, but
Poor Andrew. One
Yeah.
day you'll figure out how to do audio. Maybe in
I
your
can
fifth
do it
year.
with my Yeti's great, man. I have no problems with it. It's just the other mics. They're temperamental.
A few
So
more
it-
people grab that microphone, and this will be an official Yeti sponsored podcast.
I was gonna
Hey.
ask. Well, yeah, I've got a Yeti.
Yeah, I love it.
I've got a
I-
snowball, which is also blue. So we have
Yeah,
at least
we're
three
pretty
of
much
us the
halfway
same
there.
company. Is that all four?
We are 4 for 4 blue shills.
Yeah.
no, I use
No.
M Audio.
Oh,
Oh.
right.
Oh.
I thought you were a Yeti user for whatever
Nope.
reason.
I use
Okay.
M Audio.
So, just to go back to my point for a second, is there a game on Steam that is like on a decent sale right now that you would recommend going out and getting?
Let me
'Cause-
check. I
Just
haven't,
roller-
I
Just
haven't
in
been on here
general,
today.
like on all of
Yeah.
Steam.
Yeah, like,
Uh,
well, I mean, it's a game that you probably like that is a decent deal right now. Like
Roller
that you
Coaster
think is
Tycoon
worth the
3
money.
Platinum, $8.
You're
Not
not
bad.
you're not
That
going to
would be a
recommend to
good
keep his
deal.
trip.
No, that's true. That's a true deal. That's what's going on right now. It's 60% off.
Wander, you
I'm-
should check out this game called Undertale.
It's 20% off. It's $8.
That's not it. Honestly, I'm not going to say that's a good deal. I would actually say the Shadowrun triple
Oh shit,
pack.
Wander, get Talos Principle, 75% off.
Yeah, that's probably worth it. Okay,
it's so
there's keys.
fucking good. It's
I was
like my
gonna
favorite
say,
game of the
the-
year when it came out.
The Shadowrun triple pack is $15, and that's like almost 100 hours worth of gameplay, give or take. Maybe more like 40. Kind of depends on how much you get into it.
Hey, Ark is almost half off.
Everyone in chat get Talos Principle and Knights of the Old Republic if you haven't played them yet.
Oh yeah.
Both KOTOR
I
games
mean,
are
that's-
$3.
So the one problem with the KOTOR games is if you're not okay with dated graphics, that's going to be
well,
a
yeah.
problem.
You
But
might,
oh
you
man, are
might
they
get
so
stuck
good?
playing a Xbox quality video game in 480p.
Yes.
I mean, Skyrim's only $10. That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
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 If you haven't played it before, that's a really
I
good
don't
deal.
like Skyrim.
I think a lot of us have like mediocre opinions of Bethesda games, actually.
Yeah, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, there's, you know,
Because they're creepy universes where a big sandbox is filled with horrible droid people that are from my nightmares and never feel like real people or a world. And we're supposed to roleplay in it, and they won't stop making creepy eye contact and telling me their life story when I'm literally walking past them in a hallway.
Hey, how about Dark Souls 2 is only $20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scholar of the
that's always
First Sin
good-
is
good
18.
choice.
That is the historic low.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
But I don't know
I
about
was
you
gonna
guys, but
mention
I'm
that
tired
because
of.
I figured that would be obvious.
I'm really tired of Fallout 4 characters telling me that they don't have time to talk to me when I never talk to them.
I
Heath,
played
do I
that
need
game for like
all
a
of the
few minutes.
DLC?
I was just not a fan of it.
What DLC?
For Talos, do I need the DLC? Or not?
Road to Gehenna is the only one that matters. That's the actual
Okay.
expansion that it follows up on the story in a really fascinating way. The other one is like a bonus level pack
Oh,
that they didn't use, basically, when they
This is
made
a
the game.
classic. Microsoft RTS collection.
The Road to
All the
Gehenna
Age of Empires, all
Yep.
the Age of Mythology, all the... Wow, this is actually a really good deal if you
Yeah,
like some pretty classic RTSs.
I got the Age of
Is that the
Empires
remastered
games.
edition?
Yeah,
Let me check.
They're
It looks
the
like
HD ones.
yeah, it looks like
Like
they're all the
Wonder.
HD ones. You're right.
Talos Principle already has one of the most compelling storylines I've had in the last year or so of video games, but Road to Gehenna might be even more interesting as an
Okay.
expansion of the storyline of the main game, which is a
How many-
completely isolated story, but it's...
How many
well,
hours did that take you, by the way?
Let's see, I can vaguely look.
2013 release of Tomb Raider is
Let's see.
$3 right now. That's really good.
Oh, that's the wrong page. I did
Dishonored's
Talos Principle in
$11.
41 parts that are roughly 20 to 30 minutes long.
Oof. I think I'm gonna buy the Serious DLC, which replaces the voice acting of the God character with Serious Sam.
That may
What?
fuck with the story, but I think you mostly don't care about taking anything seriously,
Yep.
judging by my interactions with you. Oh, and for context, the DLC was about half as long as the main game for me.
That's great.
I think it has fewer
Okay.
levels, but they're harder. But both of them have really compelling stories. Just make sure you actually pay attention to all the terminals that are around. Because
Yeah,
there's actually stuff
that-
going on in them.
That's probably gonna be something that I sit on for a while and play with Shell.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think she would eat the shit out of that.
What's noteworthy is that the terminals in that game, you're used to terminals just being random notes you find about some destroyed or defunct universe or something. But a lot
These
of the
matter.
terminals actually are live updating in Talos Principle because there's actually existing other consciousnesses throughout its universe. So it's actually
That's
a weird
neat.
way of indirectly interacting with people, almost in a Dark Souls
Oops.
kind of way.
I'm gonna have to say one thing about that game that I don't like. Their presentation page for their store makes the game look boring as hell.
Oh yeah, because it's a bunch of cliffs and lasers and a robot.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about that one game that you two played where you just like tried to bring a robot back to life for like 30 minutes?
No. Fuck that. You
People
know
play
what?
that game.
Podcast over. I will see you later. Bird.
Cradle is
Good
very
night.
heavily recommended by a lot of people, and I don't think any of them recommend it for its gameplay, and they might skirt
No.
over the fact that it has terrible gameplay. They people get really into its universe sometimes the
That
same
is
way that
the
I get really
first-
into Soma.
That is the first game that, despite finishing it, I was so just unhappy with the game. I felt embarrassed putting videos on YouTube on it.
Yeah, like I finished the
Even if it
entire
was doing
series with him and edited all of it for him and gave it to them, and he just stopped uploading them midway through the series, which is baffling to me. Because like I would at least upload them without sharing them with your subscribers. Like don't
Yeah.
don't do the thing where it shows up in your subscriber feed, but just have them there for people who look up the series. Because otherwise
I'll probably do
they're
that.
just gonna reach a dead end and be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yep.
Which
Oh,
admittedly
Hey,
happens a lot on your channel, but sorry.
Civilization 5.
Sorry.
Civ 5's on sale for $8.
Is that the
that's a
full
reasonable
version,
deal.
or is that just... Actually, you know what? I would say, counterpoint to that, Endless Legend, way better game. Way better game.
It
That's
is,
true.
but it's also not Civ, so it's a hard sell for a lot
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah, I know.
My
But,
issue
like,
with Civ is that so few people ever want to play it that by the time I even get half of a game done with anybody, the next game's already out and 75% off.
That's
I
why
don't-
I like
I-
Endless
yeah.
Legend so much. The like a session is 150 turns, which is about 3 hours.
I think people hit the point now where they just want stuff that isn't Civilization now, so they do talk about Endless Legend and what's the other one? Shit.
I
lost
bought
it.
it a while ago, but I gotta try it. They made that new one, Off-World Trading Company.
Yeah.
That looked kind of cool.
Oh, Crusader Kings. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, I play the
Well,
crap out of it.
People
Crusader
talk about
Kings
Crusader
is a wildly
Kings.
different experience anyway.
Yeah, Crusader Kings is way different.
I want to try it. I want to do a multiplayer, but I know that series would die after the first sitting.
Well, yeah, you need a bunch
Yeah.
of people to do it for one, and any series that's
You can you can do it with like 1 or 2 people, but
You need some really committed people like me and me and me.
Yeah, I will not. I'll play Crusader Kings once, but
Heath,
I
I'm
will
not
not
going to
probably do
attempt
it
that
multiple
until
times.
we've moved out and are working on these
And
things
it's a
full
LAN.
time. Yeah.
It's a LAN.
Yeah, I can walk into your room and shake you until you play with me.
That does not
I
sound
think
good.
we're gonna
That
end on
sounded-
that note.
really
Well-
interesting.
This is why you will not be living together.
So this,
Anyway,
so this
yeah,
has been our
maybe it is time
podcast
to wrap this
that
up,
knows no
as it
name.
is 3:30 a.m.
So we've been
And
here.
if you
We've
guys-
been here with Birdcatcher from Birdcatcher Games and Andrew from the Sad Games. And be sure to leave comments on these videos if you're seeing them. To if you want to ask questions for future videos.
Otherwise,
Do we
we're
have
going
any
to talk
questions from
about anime a bunch.
yeah. This
and
time we
then-
didn't really have questions, except one person asked me about D&D, but I think we can cover that next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thanks for watching,
Yeah.
guys. Like always, we'll see you next time. Hopefully, hopefully there's a next time.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
We did it, guys. We did it.
I really need to pee.